Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Uncut Alley. My name is Allie A.
My name's Chris. Welcome back.
Woo!
Party
This is episode 3
of Rick and Morty.
and of Sipping Shows, where we sip on some shows and sip on some drinks. Today is sponsored by, and not actually, by Carl's Jr. It was our first time going.
Ice cold.
It's pretty good.
How's
He
the
didn't do the sipping sound. Hate him.
How's the Coke compared to McDonald's Coke?
It's pretty good. I don't care. Anyway, episode 3 was, I would say, a heartfelt one. Like, I don't know. I feel like that one had a lot of emotion.
Real human moments.
And that's why people didn't like it, probably. So anyway.
What? Who's laughing?
Anyway, we open the show. Rick and Morty are buying their own custom tees. Rick and Morty Pussy Pounders. They're sick-ass shirts. I want one.
I want one. I want the modified one.
The summer one. So then it starts fucking acid raining. Little Morty's hair gets all acidy. It melts away a little bit. So then they go into the spaceship and they're like, oh fuck. And then some super villain comes in. It's like a rat.
Diesel Weasel.
It's Diesel Weasel and his acid rain. But then Planetina comes in. She's a superhero. She's gorgeous. She's going to save the day. She foils Diesel Weasel's plans. Morty falls in love with her, as he does any
woman.
anyone. So then they're talking, and Rick's like, "Can we fucking go?" And then Morty's like, "Oh, do you like soft serve?" And she's like, "No, veal is a product of the dairy company." And he's like, "Oh, that sucks." She's like, "I know some cruelty-free donuts." And he's like, "Okay." And then he goes to see if Rick wants to go. He just throws the shirt at Rick, and he's like, "Nope, didn't want to go." And then they fly off to get cruelty-free donuts. And then Morty, what's his name? Rick is pissed. He's like, "What the fuck?" And then that's the theme song. So
Good rendition.
okay, show comes back. We're watching like her show that's been around since the 90s. So, you know, like 4 kids have rings that call her. Very similar to Captain Planet, I believe is his name, which is an actual 90s show. And Morty's showing his family. And Summer's like, "Oh, wonderful. My boyfriend broke up with me, and he's dating a Phase 4 superhero." So then
Summer.
Rick comes in, and he gives her the Rick and Morty Pussy Pounder shirt, but he crossed out Morty and put Summer over it.
They add a little hair lump to Morty, so like it's more Summer.
Love that. I didn't even notice that.
I want that shirt.
And Rick says something, and I'm like, that is off-brand. He says it's gonna be a Rick-diculous adventure, and I was like, when is he coining terms with his name? When did that start?
I don't remember that ever.
Anyway, so Jerry's like, "I don't want you doing this." So Rick is explaining the adventure him and Summer are about to have,
Yeah.
and they're just gonna like have sex and do drugs on 3 planets that are having an apocalypse. No commitments, nothing. They're just going. Fighting, fucking, and fleeing. So then, do you want to cut in, or are you all good?
What's next?
Well, then Morty's talking about how there's a forest fire.
Oh yeah, Morty wants to be with Planetina, so he goes to the forest fire. He takes a flight over there, I guess, or some shit.
Well, Beth wouldn't help him, so
Yeah.
he just like storms out.
It's really a human moment because he's like, "I hate you guys."
Yeah, and then Summer's
Slams the
doing
door
the same to
4
Jerry.
times.
So it's just them going through the folly of parenting.
Yeah,
It's not working out. I
No,
mean,
it's
not that
rough.
they've ever been good parents.
they're great parents.
Nope.
Okay,
So then Morty gets to the forest fire,
love Jerry.
and he's like trying to save a bunny. Planetina stops the forest fire. She's like, "Morty, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Me? What are you doing here?" And then she's like, I really like you, but I have kids. And he's like, oh, I'm a kid. I'll get along with them. She's like, no, I have like the 4 kids who summoned me. And they come out of the van and it's been like 30 years. So they're like in their 40s and 50s now.
Yeah, like businessmen.
Yeah, they're very businessy. They only care about her as like a means of their popularity and as an object, which is a play on like how managers see many of their young stars and how it's just a means of what they want,
Yeah.
like you're an object rather than a person, rather than her cause isn't a cause to them. It's just
Merch.
yeah, it's just merch. It's just
Money.
it's just full capitalism. They don't actually care about her. So then Morty's like, oh yeah, this is a lot. She's like, I get it, it's okay. So the news crew goes to her and they're like, oh, who's your friend? And she's like, this is Morty. He's a very special guy. He traveled over 200 miles to save a rabbit. And then they're like, are you dating? And Morty's like, yes, we are.
She smiled.
Yes, it was very cute.
I like Morty finding love. I just wish he had a girlfriend for more than...
Yeah, you're spoiling. He might have a girlfriend.
He has a girlfriend right now.
Yeah, finally he has a girlfriend. So anyway, then it cuts to Rick and Summer's wild sex adventure. They go to more Glutz, which is the first one, and they just start going ham,
Yeah, that planet is the one where everyone has elbow tits.
Yeah, elbow tits. So then, Rick goes and he sees a woman giving him the eye, and she throws up into a baby carriage. So he's like, I need to fuck her.
Need some of that.
So then it's just that, It's like, okay, he's just going to have sex with her. Then it cuts to...
Hello. That's what she says.
Wait, when is... Did I mess this up?
What?
Anyway, sometime during this, Rick and Planetina went on like cute little date adventures.
Morty.
It's like a Morty and Planetina. It's very cute. She gives him like a bunch of flowers and then she goes over to his house and then they make out and she sleeps over and it's Scandy. So then there's a convention where she's supposed to be there and appear. So when the 4 kids summon her, Morty's on top of her like cuddling her. And they don't like this. So they're like, we need to take care of this kid. So then the fire guy, he's like, I'll handle this. So then he locks him in a room and he's about to burn his face off. But Morty kicks his ass and murders him with his own ring. He bites his finger off with the ring, uses the ring, and burns this man alive. Hello again. It died, so we redid it.
We're back.
Promise you didn't miss anything. So we were at him killing the fireman. That doesn't sound right. So the fireman was saying how they're using Planetina and they plan on selling her overseas like she is just an object for them. And he's like, I won't let you do that. So then he kills him. And then we go back to... No, we don't go back yet. Then we're at the place where they're about to sell Planetina. So the other 3 children are there. They're not actual kids. And they're like, where the fuck is Eddie? That's the fire guy. So Morty comes in. He's Pizza Morty.
Where did he get the outfit? It says murder pie on his hat.
It does?
Yes.
That's sick. I never even noticed.
I want an episode on the costume man.
Who makes their costumes?
I thought it would be like Rick, but Rick is with Summer right now.
Rick is gone.
And Morty's still got a murder pie hat.
Rick is fully gone. Where do they get these? Who knows? So
That's my question. I have so many questions, but I just want to spurt them off later because they're just like general questions.
Okay. We have general questions after.
And there's no answer for any of them.
After the meet and greet, we have general questions. So then he comes in and he's like, I got a cheesy pizza, extra crispy. And then he pulls fucking Eddie's head out and rolls it. And then one of the other kids is like, I know those cheekbones anywhere. It's Eddie. So there's also security guards there. So Morty is like firing everywhere. And the security guys are shooting at him. And then they shoot the fuck out of the air woman. And then he takes that ring.
Yeah.
And then he uses it on the Earth woman. He puts the ring in her mouth and fills her head up with air that it explodes.
Morty's a
insane.
badass.
He's so fucking cool now.
Does everything for love, man.
Yeah. I mean,
I'd blow a head for you.
that sounds sexual. I'd kill someone for you.
Thank you.
And then all that's left is the Earth guy. So Morty does like Earth and then fire through that, so it creates lava and it burns everybody. And the only thing that's left is the guy who was about to sell her. It's to buy Planetina, and he was like, I'm an independent character who does not represent any group. And then Morty hits him into, he had like a baby seal display. I believe he was going to eat them. And the baby seals eat him.
Yeah.
And it was very satisfying.
That was sick.
So then after that, we cut to the Hello woman.
Hello. Daphne.
Her name's Daphne. Wait a minute. I didn't write this down, but they go to a second world where Summer's like, what the fuck? Why is she here? She's from Morglutz. And he's like, what? What are you talking about? And then he's like, yeah, well, she would do anything with me, and she's sick, and I like her, so she's coming on our adventures. And so I was like, this was not what we were doing.
It's against the rules.
Against the rules.
No love.
No commitments.
No commitment.
So anyway, now we're back, and they have like a tarp with a zip-up curtain in the spaceship. I was like, where did he get this? Has he always had this?
A sex tarp.
Yeah. So then Daphne comes out to talk to Summer. She's like, hello. And that's all she says. By the way, she's voiced by Jennifer Coolidge, which is like, if you are a 2000s teenager human, you know her as like Stifler's mom. So from American Pie, like everybody wanted to fuck her. Like she has massive boobs. Like she is a sex icon, but also hilarious. I love Jennifer Coolidge. I love that she voiced this character.
No clue who that is.
I know. Other side note, I love that they got like really good voice actors. They got Alison Brie and Steve Buscemi, and I love that he was a different alien on each planet.
I didn't know it.
He's the one who wanted to be pissed on by some. He had like piss. He was also the one who had sex with his dad in the last world. So anyway, they're having a talk, and she's like, "You're using my grandfather. You just want to live." And she's like, "Yeah. Well, look at these." And then so the Morglutzians have like tit elbows, as Chris said.
Yeah.
And hers are like massive.
Big tit
She's
elbows.
like, wars have been won over this. Like, presidents have been inspired. I can't die. Like, my tits are gonna live on forever. So Summer's like, she's just using him. And then she goes in the back. Oh, Summer gets jealous. She's like, what? I'm the only woman who's going to be in the universe with my grandfather. And she's like, well, not anymore, honey. And then they go back to have sex.
Tit sex.
And then, my favorite thing is Rick's like, I need more elbow grease. Get it? Her elbow tits. Anyway.
I wouldn't want elbow tits, personally.
Like to have sex with elbow tits or to have them?
To have them or have sex with them.
Why?
Seems awkward.
Seems awkward?
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
I think Kylie wants elbow tits.
I do not. I'm all good. So then we cut. So now Planetina's free. She, Morty, Jerry, and Beth are playing some stupid game. Jerry's very into it.
I love Jerry so much.
Beth is not okay with Planetina. She thinks she's too old. She does not like this relationship. You know, she's losing Morty. And
Yeah, how old is Planetina? And I guess she
like
doesn't
30.
but I feel like she's been the same age.
Well, yeah, because she doesn't actually age.
Yeah.
She's just how did Morty describe it? She's just like a culmination of the elements.
Yeah.
So they're playing, and he's like, hey, so Planetina, like, doesn't really have a place to live right now. And Beth's like, absolutely not. And they have this big fight, and Plantina leaves, and Morty's like, I will never forgive you. She's the only person who makes me feel seen. I've been to so many fucking galaxies, but nobody's ever made me feel the way that Plantina makes me feel. And Beth's like, you're so fucking young, you don't understand. And they have this big argument, and Morty leaves, and Plantina goes and carries him off.
That's so sad.
And then Jerry's very confused because he's just playing the game the whole time. It's very
He's
funny.
like, what? It's just a game, honey, or something.
Because, no, that would be your dad. Jerry is Chris's dad.
Pretty much.
They're just simple men.
Yeah.
Because Morty goes like, I hate you. And Jerry's like, what? It's just a game. Not at all talking about the game. So that's another montage of Morty and Planetina, except this is them saving the world. You know, it starts off great. We're stopping poachers. We're putting out forest fire.
Making wind for electricity.
Yeah, powering some wind turbines.
Yeah.
And then she pops a bunch of tires and plugs in an electric sign that says walk. And Morty's like, okay. Like, you start seeing his face. It's just like, oh. And then they go to like a mining place, and she's like, stop, you can't, like, you're killing the earth. And they're like, listen, your prop didn't go through. So, which I think is funny because she was wearing like a say no to prop whatever earlier when she had her manager. So I feel like it's showing how even when people are being used as an object for capitalism, it still gets some shit done. So they're like, look, your people didn't win. We need these jobs. So then she murders them and sets the whole place on fire. And Morty is not okay. He's like sobbing. Oh, before that, she sent a Molotov cocktail through a congressman's house.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, this is getting bad. So it's not going well.
Morty ran away, man.
Yeah, he fully ran away.
That's pretty crazy.
I mean, if I had a girlfriend who flew, it'd be a lot easier to run away.
Yeah, right?
A lot easier. So then we go back to Summer and Rick's adventure, and they're at the last world. Summer can't get into it because Rick is still with her name's Daphne. Hello. And Summer's super pissed off, and she's like, she's fucking using you. She just wants to survive. She doesn't actually care about you. He's like, no. Oh, the young, they're so stupid when it comes to love. So then Summer takes Rick's spaceship and stops. So they were going to be destroyed by like an asteroid.
Yeah.
She obliterates the asteroid. And she comes back and she's like, there you go. Your apocalypse is averted. Grandpa, now we can go home. Daphne, you can come, but you don't have to. And then he's like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? And then Daphne goes, goodbye, and walks away. It's my favorite thing.
Oh, man.
So then they're leaving, and it's a very sweet moment between them where she's like, I'm sorry that I had to do that. And he's like, I like that you selfishly averted an apocalypse for a world just to teach me a lesson.
Pretty Rick thing.
He's like, it was a really Rick thing to do. And I would have done the same for you. And it was really sweet. It was like a really sweet moment between them.
Yeah, Summer's very Rick, isn't she?
Summer is very Rick because I think they both kind of don't give a fuck in a way that they give a lot of fucks, if that makes sense. Like, they both have similar hobbies of just drinking and having sex and like have very addictive personalities. But I think they both inherently have this sense of family as well.
Yeah.
That they care about.
Mm-hmm.
Morty is not so much Rick because I think he still has this deep-seated need to find love. And while I think the whole family has that, I think Morty has it more and still has that like teenage angsty part of it and like the teenage parts of it that make it a little different and make you more emotional and less rational. While Rick is still irrational, he's rationally irrational, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he does things that make sense sometimes, kind of.
But like there's a reason, I feel like, why he always does it.
Yeah.
Even if the reason is, I don't fucking care.
Mm-hmm.
Morty, I feel like, just still has that emotion, teenage reactory part of him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So we're ending our Rick and Summer adventure. Planetina and Morty are breaking up. She's outside his window, and he's like, you murdered 300 people. She's saying
That's a lot of people.
That's what it takes to save the world at this point. More on my thoughts on that later. So then they break up. He's crying, and Beth comes in, is comforting him, and it's a really sweet moment between them.
She always knows what's best. Beth always knows what's best. It's happened with Summer before. Happens with Morty a few times. Like,
mother knows best.
Moms know, man.
It's very sweet, I think, that Beth is always there for her kids to pick up the pieces. Like, she's not the most their mother, but I feel like given the father that she had, she does the best with whatever she has, the tools that she was already given for motherhood. Especially with a father like Jerry, that we're like, what is he gonna do?
Jerry's a mess.
So that's everything, and then there's the after scene where it's the day after the saved apocalypse in the third world, and the guy who had sex with his father, they apparently own a bakery, so his father's just like rolling the dough. He's like, hi. Slow day, huh? Probably because everybody thought we're gonna have to go to work. Oh, that's the other thing. Before Summer left, they're like, boo, now we have to go to work tomorrow. So,
literally everybody.
Yeah, me. And so this is Dad just like, Like, is Mom in the back? And Mom's not talking to us. Is it because we had sex? He's like, I'm like, okay.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. And he walks in. He's like, oh, happy birthday, by the way. So
That's so awkward.
It's saved apocalypse, man. Don't end it if you've already had sex with your dad.
Yeah. Ooh, can I go over all my questions?
Yeah, so that's the whole synopsis of the episode. Chris has questions.
Okay, first one was, we already talked about, where did Morty get his damn outfits?
Where did Morty get his damn
How does Planetina work? Like, in Earth, like, that's not a thing. Like, that 4 rings can summon a person. That's like a very, like, supernatural thing, which this world doesn't usually have much of. I'm very confused.
What?
I guess there's like Mr. Nimbus.
We go on all this shit, and that's your problem.
Okay, I have more.
That they have rings. It's just a play on the 90s. What about the Mr. Hunt Me? They could all 4 be aliens. Like, we know that this Earth knows that there's other galaxies as well.
Yeah.
It's never come up, but like, I don't know. I get your question.
Where does Diesel Weasel go?
Who cares?
Is he coming back?
No.
Okay, I have more questions. Who are Rick and Morty's neighbors? And how are they okay with all the shit that happens at this house? I want to have an episode on the neighbors so bad.
Oh my god.
Because there was just an episode where there was a shot where you saw the house and like both neighbors like houses, and I was like, wait, they live in like a cul-de-sac. And then it also got me questioning, why do they live in this like pretty modest like single family home when Rick is like a god? Like, they could live in like a giant mansion or whatever. It's just interesting.
Where else would...
Also, why does Beth have to work for a living if Rick like can just get money? Like, everything's fucking weird.
I was about to say, where else would Beth be a horse surgeon?
Yeah, I guess. We'll talk about all that next episode, I'm guessing. More of that.
Yeah, since the next episode is going to be about her job a little bit.
A little bit. Anyway, those are my questions. Just a bunch of stuff. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But a lot of it's unrelated to this episode.
Probably because they try to have a normal life, and if they let Rick just like get them whatever, infinite money, it wouldn't be a normal life.
Yeah.
There needs to be some normalcy for them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, Rick does not have time to do that.
He's too busy fucking fleeing.
He already made everything in the basement. What else was he supposed to do?
Yeah. And I just wrote down that, you know, we're in a tough spot with, I mean, this is something people talk about all the time. It's like, there's so many like coal mining jobs and blah, blah, blah. And it's like a very difficult thing they touch on. How
do we save the earth without absolutely destroying humans.
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Like,
that was one of my
capitalism
notes.
sucks.
I love how, especially this season, I feel like Rick and Morty is really delving into social and economic and environmental issues and political issues very well by also having the humor bit to it, kind of like how GTA does, where they discuss all of these topics with a humor side to it and don't present answers. They just present the problems and really the complexities of what we as a world are going through. And I really feel like they did it very well in this episode,
Yeah.
especially with the like environmental changes. I'm not trying to preach or anything, but like the earth is not doing well. We're not doing the best. And it's how do we save it? Especially when a lot of people don't support causes because of they just see the extremist of that cause. Take any cause and that will be it. But always it has been the environmental cause has been full of extremists. I don't know why, but like think about it. The environmental cause seems to always be extremists.
Yeah.
And I think they showed that very well of how, yes, it seems like she's doing great, putting out forest fires and putting wind for wind turbines, it seems great, but it's like that will not do enough ever. And she's aware of that. She knows exactly what needs to be done, including killing coal miners. While it may not be directly their fault, it's a big corporation's fault. How do you stop the big corporation without also having those people get laid off and diminish jobs? And it prevents that question super well. And the complexities within how do we change to save the world without simultaneously destroying humanity. Capitalism is the root of all problems.
God, it causes so many issues, especially this crazy capitalism we're in right now.
It is quite extreme capitalism.
Yeah. This episode just like made me do a lot of thinking, like, God, this sucks.
And I think that was kind of the point of it, just to think, what can you do that will actually change the world? And many people who like study it say like it's the big corporations that are the issue. You can recycle every day. You can recycle to the point of like tiniest pieces and super great at it. And it won't do as much as if a big corporation stopped using plastic. If a big corporation stops spilling their oil somewhere. Those are the things that need to happen, and they won't happen because we can't really boycott successfully when a big corporation owns everything and we have no viable options.
Yeah.
Like so many people can't go vegan because meat is fucking cheap sometimes. Like there are cheap meats.
Well, it's good protein. I mean, it has like a lot of things you need.
Exactly.
To survive, so.
But if you were going to eat healthily and nutritiously without meat, it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of effort.
Yeah. A lot of privilege to be able to do that.
Yeah. Or like getting solar is kind of expensive, Like there are so many things that it's an expense, and it feels like being pro environment is very expensive.
It shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't be that way, but it has to be that way,
organic
and it makes
food,
no
everything.
sense. Oh, it doesn't have to be that way, but it is that way. So anyway, I love that they spoke about that. I love the little jabs that like Planetina got in, where she would be like, so when she went to see Morty, she was like, I told my kids I was going to go recycle batteries. But in all seriousness, you should recycle batteries in actual recycling plants and not just in your normal trash. Like while they're making out.
Yeah.
I love that like she got that message in to the audience,
Oh, geez. Thanks for the tip.
Thanks for the tip. And then they made out.
I'm happy Morty got some love.
Yeah.
He's only 14 still.
It's been years. Like, is every episode a day? Like,
I know. I guess.
Morty hasn't been in school in so long. Is he okay?
What happened?
Poor man.
Oh, man. This has been a weekend.
Another main concept, like not environmental, that I think was a baseline of this episode was love/jealousy. So we see that with Summer and Rick and how she is jealous of Daphne. We see that with Beth and Morty, how she's jealous of Planetina because they feel like they're losing the people that they love. And they don't love many people. No. Do they have friends? Does anyone have friends?
No. Does anyone come over? I guess Summer has friends
Summer had
sometimes.
a boyfriend this
Yeah.
whole time. Anyway,
Who was it?
I love like that streak of like showing jealousy and also the fleetingness of love in both old age and young age. So Morty was that teenage, extreme, powerful love at first, but then once you start seeing the flaws, it's like, I cannot do this. Rick was, I think, the inverse, where you don't see the flaws at all and you just see the great of it, the good of it. And then, I mean, I guess the same thing actually. Once those flaws came out, she wasn't going to come. And he couldn't see that until the very end, where she was not going to stay with him. So I think those two were another main theme of the episode, and I like that. Sorry. You ever talk and then like this is gross. You feel like a bubble behind your nose and it like stops you from breathing well?
Yes.
So you need to sniff? I'm sorry, that's probably a gross thing to hear. Do you have anything else? I need to read through my notes. Somebody needs to talk.
No?
Okay. I would love to have both love interests come back, Daphne and Planetina. Any episode. Just hello. One
She needs to be in the background, right?
I want her in the background of everything. I want to see her progress to like each world.
Yeah, she's just everywhere.
Hello, you know? I want to see it. I thought when I saw the preview for this last week, I thought the episode would have Jessica come back and create that sort of like fight for Morty.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't.
I don't think he likes Jessica anymore. Jessica doesn't like him anymore.
I mean, Jessica's a time god. She needs to get through that.
Yeah. They should just go to a different reality where Jessica didn't go through that, so Morty can have another chance.
But then that Morty gets that Jessica.
Ugh.
So when
Confusing.
when Pizza Morty came in, how did he know where that meeting was going to be?
I mean, and it was in like Saudi Arabia. Like, how did he get there?
Was it actually?
Yeah, definitely.
I thought. Oh yeah, because I guess they were in his house.
Yeah.
He probably has a U.S. house. He's like a
yeah, maybe.
multi-billionaire.
Morty travels quick, is all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
Does Morty fast travel? I feel like Morty has a fast travel
He
button.
might have a portal on his phone, like a portal app or something.
Like, what's up with that? How did he know where to be? How did he get there in time that they were like, oh, we're calling him, and he's not there? Like, if he flew there, how did he get a fucking head through TSA?
You're right, he couldn't have flown.
What the fuck? And
What the
Planetina didn't bring him.
Yeah, what
He didn't have all the rings. He had one ring. Who knows?
Maybe he used fire like a rocket.
Fire. Yeah, because he had the fire ring.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
He said fire.
Maybe he went to see Elon Tusk and he got a rocket.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyway, let's see. Oh, with Planetina, I thought it was really... Because one of my first questions when I first watched the episode, because we watched the episode 2 times. We watched it just first for us, and we watch it again and like make all of our notes and really analyze and synthesize it. So if Planetina's doing all of this, how come the world hasn't been saved yet? If she's been around since the 90s?
Yeah, right?
And how come we're just hearing about it? Other than, obviously, whenever we ask these questions, it's like trying to put this into a real world, not just like, oh, it's a show. They can just make whatever they want.
I had that question too.
Yeah, like why?
Where was Planetina?
Why hasn't she done everything?
Yeah.
But think about it. Her kids summon her, and her kids just use whatever would make the most news coverage. They're not going to have her recycling or anything. They're going to have her saving a man with acid rain. They're going to have giant forest fires. She can't be everywhere, so she can only do whatever would get them the most media coverage, get them the most sales, get her the most fan base.
Yeah.
Not the small things. It's going to be all the big things that they can make money off of and have her face plastered everywhere.
They kind of have an incentive to keep the world fucked up.
Exactly.
Like,
which many environmental, like if you look into the finances of many charities, they have stakes in like the thing that their charity helps, or else they wouldn't exist. So, you know, they keep this guy who eats seals, you know? They keep certain things the way it is so that she has a purpose. Because if she stopped having a purpose, they would stop making the money off of her.
Yeah.
But they still use her to like have those big ticket items, like vote no to Prop 6 or whatever. Save the big forest fire. Save the guy who's fucking acid raining. Wild.
Diesel Weasel.
Diesel Weasel. Hashtag no. We're not doing a hashtag justice for Diesel Weasel. No justice for Diesel Weasel. Hashtag no justice for Diesel Weasel.
Jail time for Diesel Weasel.
So I thought that's what like made it like real for me, that they wouldn't have had her go to everything because it wouldn't have made sense for them in any way, and they just needed her to get coverage on whatever would be the biggest thing. And the last thing I have is something that I realized after the episode. So we went back and we wanted to listen to, because there were two really good songs that played. The first one was a Flowers song, and during their like happy montage. The second one was like I Am the Antichrist to You, which played during their like not so happy montage. I also loved the duality in that, and like they paralleled each other a little bit.
Yeah.
So the Flowers song was made for this episode. It's a Rick and Morty song. And listening to it again, one of the lyrics was, I wrote it down.
Oh, that's good.
Flowers don't last forever, but will go past forever, or like something along those lines. She got him flowers that like made up his face. And at the end, when they break up, you see the flowers disintegrating. So the song that plays during that happy montage is actually foreshadowing what happens to them. She and him, their relationship is like the flowers that she gave them. They won't last forever. And the whole song is just about like fleeting love, but like believing that you won't have that fleeting love. However, they were the flowers. They didn't last forever, despite their beauty, despite what everybody thought they could be. They could not last forever. Are you sad?
Yeah, that's so sad.
I thought that was a cool analysis.
That was super sick. Yeah, I didn't even.
Yeah, it was super. It was really cool to like listen to the song and realize that whoever wrote that song killed it. Truly captured how fleeting love is and how powerful, and it's just like this bloom at the beginning, but if you don't give it what it needs, if you don't flower it, if it's just like to show of a face of somebody and it's not in water or anything, that love won't last. It's a fleeting love, just like flowers are fleeting, and they were a fleeting love.
Morty had a girlfriend.
And that's all Chris cares about.
Jerry was playing a board game.
That's also what Chris cares about.
I liked it. Not my favorite, but...
No, not my favorite episode, but I really appreciated what they were going for, and I think it was a great way to discuss issues without losing touch of what they are.
Yeah. I haven't seen any other shows do that as well as Rick and Morty.
Yeah. So let us know your thoughts on the episode if you watched it. If not, I don't know, comment something. Oh, I got a new tattoo. It says I can make something good. It's from a Porter Robinson song called Look at the Sky. We'll link that in the bio. Everybody go listen to it. It's very pretty.
It is very pretty.
You probably can't see it too well, but it's there. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day and happy birthday. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Give me a song, Chris. Play us out.
Shows, sips and shows, sippy, sippers.
We didn't sip at all throughout the whole episode. I was so into this analysis.
Me too. I was just showing. No sips. Allie bit a straw.